Alejandro, Melissa Chavez here. This is going to be the certification for our UpStyling. So let's get started. For a couple things you want to make sure that you have on hand is you have your bobby pins and you have them close to you, mostly at arm's reach. Some people like to put them on their wrist, tied to a wristband, some clips, and definitely your Illuminate Shine Mist. First, we're going to start off sectioning from top of the head to ear, to the top of the ear on both sides. So you're going to make sure you have your target parting down, have your finger down by where your end of your section wants to be, and then you can section out your front two pieces. Finger down, and you will almost always hit your target with your target parting. That's something that definitely can be practiced, but you want to make sure that you are target parting so that way you can get an even and a consistent parting from side to side. So top of the head, down to the top of the ear on both sides, and section that out. We'll address that later. Now you can come onto the back of the head. We're going to be sectioning from the top of the ear on both sides, straight across. So once again, your target parting, bring that nice and clean. And you want to make sure you're sectioning this section and completely pinning it out of your way. You want to make sure your tails are in. You can twist that up and get that completely out of your way so it's not a bother to you later. Okay, so we have your sections from ear to ear on the side, and we have your top section from the top of the ear straight across the other ear, and then you're going to leave this down. Now, unlike most updos, we're actually going to start in the front of the head today. You're going to want to walk across and do a diagonal parting from the corner of the ear straight to the back of the head, or I should say the back of this parting. You're going to want to create an open-ended triangle and make sure that's nice and out of your way. So that's one side. Make sure you can see here. Corner of the brow, that's where I'm placing my finger. Looking for balance so that I get both sides consistent and even. And straight down to the other corner of the eyebrow. Let's comb this nice and forward for now. And clip that out of the way. So you have a nice open-ended triangle going towards the front. These side pieces you can leave down. Just gonna lower my girl here. I'm on the shorter end. Now with this front section, first and foremost, I'm gonna spray with Illuminate Shine Mist pretty liberally. This is gonna help me keep my flyaways down and also put a nice shine and softness to the hair so that I'm able to work with it good. So now in the front of the head, we're going to create a French braid. This you can really do numerous different ways. You can put a nice poof in the front if she wants body, a nice height in the front. I'm going to do a French braid today. So I'm just going to bring this back, section out your front piece, and you can start your braid. Now, the tighter you make the braid, the less body you will receive. The looser you will make the braid, you'll be able to push it forward and get a nice height in the front. The section isn't very big, so you won't need too many crossovers with your French braid. Braid that nice and loose. Keep your tension nice and loose. Consistent, but not nice and loose. Forward a little bit so you can see better. And this you don't have to braid all the way down, and you'll see why. So I have my nice French braid coming towards the front of the head. I'm going to push this forward slightly and give her a little bit of body. Now you're going to secure this. One ridge side up, one ridge side down. Definitely making sure your pins are locking so they're nice in place and nice and secure. These pins are going to be taken out later in the updo, but you want to make sure it's nice and secure now so that you have your security in the front as you work through the back. I'm actually going to put one more piece. I took a larger section here, so I'm going to put one more pin just to make sure that it stays until I need it to come down again. Okay, so now we're going to move to the back of the head. Now that the front of the head is done, the top of the head is done, we're going to move to the back. I can bring her up now. And this can be pushed to the side. So we're going to address it later in the style. Your side pieces are going to remain out. Those are going to be one of the last things that we do today. I'm just going to re-clip this and get that out of my way for me. We're going to be working down in this back section here. We're going to section it out into three vertical sections. The middle one you want to be a little bit wider than the rest because that's going to be your anchor for your pins. I'm going to pull this straight out, hold nice tension, and back comb. Important tip and tool to back comb is your tail comb. You want to make sure you're pushing the comb completely through the section so that you can see the comb on the other side, and back comb in. This doesn't have to be the prettiest, this doesn't have to be the nicest section because it's not going to be seen. However, what you do want to make sure is nice and smooth is this very bottom of the section because that will be slightly exposed. So now that I have a nice back comb in here, it's nice and tight and the hair is coming straight out of the head on its own, I'm going to go ahead and twist this up. Nice and tight and nice and close to the head. Very, very important that it's nice and close to the head. As I mentioned earlier, ridge side up, ridge side down, make sure your pins are locking. So first I'm going to go in with this one, ridge side up. I'm going to come in through the other side, ridge side down. Make sure those pins are crossing over and creating a nice secure twist in the middle. The tail that comes off of this and your ends that come off of this you can leave out for now. You're going to use them later in the updo. Now with the side two sections that are left, you're going to section them in half horizontally. Make sure your fronts stay out because that you're going to address later. I'm actually going to pin them out of my way so that I don't incorporate any of them. I want some nice clean partings in this updo. So I'm going to section them out of my way. Whatever's easier for you to handle. If it's okay for you to leave that out, leave it out. If it's getting in your way, make sure you're pinning it out of your way. So now first section here, horizontal. I'm going to pin this top section up. We're going to address both tops of the partings second. Once again, horizontal sectioning. I'm going to pin this out of my way. Doesn't matter whether you start on the left side or the right side. What you're going to want to do is first your Illuminate Shine Mist. Make sure your parting and your sections are nice and clean. Comb that through. I'm going to crisscross that over that back combing that we had put in. I'm going to grab this section and pin it right into that back combing that we put in. That's going to create your anchor. That's going to make sure your pins stay nice and tight. Second bottom section, I'm going to Illuminate Shine Mist, comb it nice and smooth, wrap it right over. You want to make sure you're keeping your thumb right, or any finger, whatever finger you feel comfortable with. With me, it's my thumb, right into where you want your pin to sit, and clip that right in, nice and secure. These two, you can pull out, incorporate them with the tail of the back combing. We'll address those later. These two can come down. Now these are the second half of our back section. Luminate Shine Mist, once again, close down that cuticle nice and tight due to the squalene. Reduce the flyaways, get everything nice and soft, nice and silky. Easier for you to handle, easier for you to work with. Once again, we're going to take these, crisscross it over, similar to our Denver twist. Take your pin, lock it right into that back combing. This can come up. Crisscross right over. This last section that you're crisscrossing, you want to be very mindful and very aware that any pins that may have been exposed are now covered by this last one. Lock that in nice and tight. So now we have our back combing down the center, and we have 4 crisscross coming over the back combing. I hope you can see it. Now we're going to have 5 tails, 4 from the sides and 1 from that back combing down the center. I'm going to pin this out of the way. You'll be able to use it later. Just going to remove my braid out of this section and keep that forward. Now this top section is a fairly large section. Once again, it was from top of the ear straight across. We're going to cut this in half horizontally. Make sure your target parting. So that you get a nice clean line. We're going to clip this out of our way. We'll address that shortly. Prep the hair once again with Luminate Shine Mist. You can use a little, you can use a lot. It's very hard, almost impossible to overdo this, especially in an up style. Comb it nice and smooth. Make sure all the flyaways are down and everything is evenly distributed. Now with this section, I'm going to split in half, right down the middle of the head, into 2 sections back here. We're going to create a knot. Just like you were to tie your shoes, create a knot. Whichever way, whether you do right over left or left over right, you're going to want to make sure you remember that so you can duplicate it, because we're going to create a second knot with that section that we left out. Pull it nice and tight. Put your thumb right on the section so that you have a free hand and you still have the security with your thumb. Pins, once again, ridge side up, ridge side down. You're going to take it and puncture it right towards the head. You're going to twist up to grab more hair and crisscross it right over. One more pin. You're going to come through the other side, puncture straight in directly through the head, twist up, and you're going to want to make sure you lock that other pin. Did it grab it there? But it grabs it right there. This feels nice and tight, so 2 pins will do for this. However, if you feel that it's still a little bit too loose, if the guest you have in your chair has a little bit more hair, you can always use a 3rd pin just to make sure that it'll stay perfectly in place. So that is our first knot. Now, we're going to take our second section that we split in 2, prep it with some Illuminate. I'm telling you, you really can't go wrong with your Illuminate, especially in an up style. Comb it nice and smooth. Make sure all the flyaways are down. And you're going to split it, once again, in 2. Same thing as the other one, but not below it. I'm going to cross over using the same direction as I did in the past. And you're going to want to tie that. However, this is where this braid comes in. The braid you're going to lay, the tail of the braid I should say, you're going to lay right in the middle, and you're going to knot right over that. So you're going to leave that there. You're going to take your two side sections that you split in two, have the braid nice and flat in the middle, and you're going to tie your knot. Oh, she's moving on me. You're going to tie your knot, hold it with your thumb. One pin, puncture it straight through, lift to grab some hair, and right through the center. Same on the other side, puncture straight through, lift up. Be mindful which one you had ridge side up, which one you had ridge side down. And since we have the tail of the braid in here, I'm going to put one more straight through the heart of the knot, just to make sure that it locks. So you have your twist and your crossover on the bottom, you have your middle knot, you have your top knot with the tails of your braid inside. Now this is where you can get pretty creative. This, if you choose to curl, you can pin some up, you can leave some barrel curls, you can leave some curls hanging, you can braid some. This is really where the creativity comes in with an updo. With her, since her hair is on the shorter side, I'm going to do some barrel curls and cover my parts, fill in any spot. One thing that you definitely want to make sure that you're remembering and being very mindful of is balance in an updo. Depending on where they're going, whether it be a prom, whether it be a wedding, whether it be any type of event, they're going to be photographed. So you want to make sure that you're constantly stepping back, seeing where you have any parts that you need filled in, and be mindful of your balance in the updo. So I'm going to barrel curl this up to cover my parting here. I always put my thumb right underneath, or I should say right on top of where I'm going to pin, so that I can take my pins and feel the hair that's being pinned. Gives you a little bit more security. Ridge side up. So this one's going to be ridge side down, and you will physically hear them click when they're in place. If you don't hear that click, you could either take that pin out and repin it to find your click, or you can put in a third pin if that's what you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to barrel curl this over here to cover a little bit more of my parting over here. Ridge side up, thumb in for security. And I felt that bobby pin go right underneath my thumb, so I know it has the entire section. That was ridge side up, so this is going to be ridge side down, and the click. Now, let's see. I have another little gap to fill here. So I'm going to barrel curl this down. Making sure my thumb stays right on the bottom of that section for security. Ridge side up. Second, ridge side down. And I heard that click. Did you hear that click? Because I heard it. So now I'm going to take a step back, see where I need a little bit more balance. I'm going to take this piece here, do one more barrel curl. This one I'm going to leave the end out on a little bit so that I can take a hot tool to it later, or I can spike them out depending on how funky your guest wants to get. All this should be definitely explained in your consultation. And see if they want to be more conservative or if they're open to a little bit more funk in their updo. Updos are very personal, and you have to personalize every single updo to cater to your guest for that day, for that event. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Barrel curl, and I'm going to leave the ends out. so that I can work with them later. Again, I didn't realize that my camera had cut the video off at 20 minutes. So we'll just pick up where we left off. Fine with you? Fine with me. Cool. So I barrel curled everything that I had pinned, all my little tails that I had coming out. And now I'm going to go with the sides. The sides, we're going to comb straight up and towards the back of the head. Leave that there so I can get the other side situated. Beautiful. And make sure everything's nice and smooth. Do one more knot on the top of the head to pin your sides in. Thumb in for security. Ridge side up. On one side, puncture, lift hair, ridge side down on the other side. I'm going to put one more right through the meat of the knot, just for security. Heard that click, sounded beautiful. I'm going to section this in with a barrel curl, fill a little gap that I have here. Same on the other side. Always want to make sure you're looking for balance. Thumb in for security. Beautiful. So now you want to look around, see if there's any detail work that you need to do, see if there's any sections that you would like separated. Like right here, this section is a little bit too large for me. It doesn't have balance with the rest. So I'm going to take some hair and I'm going to separate it out a little bit. Everything else looks really symmetrical, really balanced. My guest gave me a beautiful clip. My Sam here gave me a beautiful clip. So I have another little gap here, but I have no hair to separate and to fill with her head. So this is where I'm going to choose to put my clip. And that's it. We have your front pieces, your braid that was done first, your side pieces tucked in and knotted. We have your twist on the bottom with your crisscrosses here. We have your two knots in the middle with barrel curls. And this is the finished product. Hope you guys like it. I'll see you guys in LA. Bye.